The Earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 hidden jokes in kids' movies that ruined your childhood.
Hey, cutie! Wanna pollinate with a real bug? Yeah.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most adult-oriented jokes in kids' movies that, in hindsight, seem inappropriate or too racy for kids. Which of these jokes did you catch on first viewing? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, The Boss's Baby, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Towards the beginning of this live-action adaptation, we learn where babies come from in the world of Whoville. Thankfully, it's not a Who sex ed lesson. Who babies float in from the sky in an umbrella basket, or pumbercellas. It's sort of like a variation on the old story of babies being delivered by storks. Innocent, right? But this film comes armed with plenty of adult appeal. And so as the first baby is discovered on the doorstep by its presumed father-to-be, we get a not-so-wholesome revelation.
Hey, honey! Our baby's here! He looks just like your boss.
Most kids hopefully aren't familiar with the concept of extramarital workplace affairs, but it definitely gets a laugh if you rewatch the film when you're older. Number 19, Like Rabbits, Zootopia. Rabbits are known for many things. They're cute and cuddly. They're a popular symbol for speed. And veering into slightly more adult territory, they're also known to be seriously prolific procreators, meaning they have a lot of babies and do it quickly. When Officer Judy Hopps calls Nick Wilde out for tax evasion, she throws in a little species-specific sexual innuendo.
1,460,000, I think. I mean, I am just a dumb bunny, but we are good at multiplying.
He'd previously called her a dumb bunny, but this mental math shows that she's anything but. And before he can question her calculations, she reminds him that bunnies are good at multiplying. We adults see what you did there, Disney, and it was funny stuff. Number 18, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, Madagascar. You can squeeze a lot of sexual innuendo and other types of adult jokes into movies for kids. Swearing, however, is one of the big no-nos. Foul language is all but guaranteed to get you a PG-13 rating, higher if it's sexually related. But screenwriters are a creative bunch, so they usually manage to find non-traditional ways to fill the void left by the absence of swear words.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea.
In Madagascar, Chris Rock's character, Marty the Zebra, says a series of words that, although innocent at face value, come together as a convenient acronym. Sugar Honey Iced Tea, SHIT. Those sneaky writers. Number 17, Rex to Rachel, Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs. The third installment in 20th Century Fox's hugely successful Ice Age film franchise introduced Simon Pegg's Buck, a one-eyed weasel with a habit of going after creatures much larger than himself. This dinosaur hunter is more than a little rough around the edges, and seems utterly without mercy or remorse when it comes to his life calling. At one point, he regales Manny, Diego, and company with tales of his exploits, and quite frankly, it sounds like something out of a gory horror film.
Now, let me tell you about the time I used a sharpened clamshell to turn a T-Rex into a T-Rachel.
Though it's played for a laugh, he's talking about castrating a T-Rex. This is one messed up weasel. Number 16, A Dirty Hoe, The Cat in the Hat. Like 2000's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, this live-action adaptation aimed to take a Dr. Seuss classic and turn it into a feature-length film that would appeal to kids and adults alike. Unfortunately, it wasn't nearly as successful as The Grinch, and although there's a plethora of adult-oriented jokes, they're far from subtle. After landing in the yard and threatening two dogs, Mike Myers' titular Cat in the Hat looks at the garden tool he's been brandishing and aggressively calls it a dirty hoe, before smiling knowingly at the camera.
Cat, you scared him away!
Dirty hoe!
Kids likely thought nothing of it, but for adults, it's a surprisingly random and inappropriate bit of wordplay. Number 15, Flying High, The Santa Claus. In 1994, Tim Allen starred in this critically acclaimed Christmas film and box office success. It's become something of a classic in the decades since, and is undeniably a fun film for the whole family.
But our families aren't here with us right now. This is probably why Johnson's secretary's sitting in his lap.
Of course, like so many family films, it squeezes in a few jokes just for the adults. When Tim Allen's character, Scott Calvin, starts flying, he reassures his son that he's fine because of past experience.
I'm okay.
Look! We're flying!
It's okay, I'm used to it. I lived through the 60s.
Apparently, Mr. Calvin did some hard partying and experimentation with drugs before becoming the suit and tie we meet in the film.
Adding to the joke is the fact that Tim Allen was actually arrested for drug trafficking in the 70s.
Number 14. Busy Boy, 101 Dalmatians.
Cruella de Vil has always been a memorable villain, but Glenn Close makes us really love to hate the character. She oozes malice and villainous charisma, delivering many a memorable line. There's one statement in particular that children in the audience likely thought nothing of, but would surely raise the eyebrows of their accompanying parents.
We're having puppies, too.
Puppies? You have been a busy boy.
When she learns that Roger and Anita are expecting puppies in addition to a child, she says that Roger has been a busy boy. Is she suggesting Roger had something to do with the puppies? Gross, Cruella. Really gross.
Cheerio, darling.
Number 13. A Compromising Position, The Road to El Dorado.
This film follows troublemakers Miguel and Tulio, who in 1519 travel from Spain to the New World, armed with a map to the City of Gold. Naturally, nothing goes as planned, but being the con men that they are, they usually manage to spin the unexpected in their favor. When a local woman by the name of Chell enters the picture, however, things get even more complicated. It turns out that Chell can be just as manipulative as Miguel and Tulio. When she initiates a massage with Tulio, it quickly escalates to something far more suggestive off-camera.
And based on the sounds, Tulio's expression and their body positions, well, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Number 12. The Topless Woman, The Rescuers.
Rumors abound about inappropriate content being snuck into Disney films, from the phallic towers in The Little Mermaid to that much-debated line from Aladdin. However, there's nothing subjective about this adult edition to 1977's The Rescuers. In 1999, a massive recall of VHS copies of the film was announced due to an inappropriate image which had been added to the film in post-production. Disney initially refused to say what the offensive image was, but word got out fast that it was a picture of a real-life topless woman in an apartment window, visible as our mouse protagonists Bernard and Bianca fly by. Incredibly, this was in the original version of the film.
Number 11. A Lemon Party, Cars 2.
Pixar's Cars franchise has never shied away from sliding in a few raunchy jokes for the adults.
Drive it in deep and hope it sticks.
That's what she said.
In the first film, there's a deleted scene of a road sign for a top-down truck stop that advertises all convertible waitresses. In a world inhabited by automobiles, this is clearly intended as a topless bar restaurant. Without a doubt, the dirtiest joke in the entire series, however, is the Lemon Party. This likely went right over the heads of most adult viewers.
Lemon Party is a reference to an early 2000s shock website that depicted a bunch of old men attending a sex party.
Isn't this a great party, Ivan, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable.
We'd like to think that this was just a coincidence, but the internet has deemed that unlikely.
Number 10. A Castle That's Compensating for Shortcomings, Shrek.
Yeah, I know. You know, Shrek thinks Lord Farquaad is compensating for something, which I think means he has a really...
Part of what's made this beloved animated franchise so successful is its ability to balance kid-friendly jokes with adult-oriented references, and knowing winks. With that being said, there are a few moments that might raise some eyebrows in hindsight.
Mirror, mirror, show her to me. Show me the princess.
For example, there's this scene that really makes it seem like Lord Farquaad is getting a little too excited while looking at Princess Fiona's picture.
Thankfully, viewers can't see any movement in the sheets, so maybe Shrek wasn't so far off the mark when he made his locker room joke about a big castle for a little man. It might have just been a jab at Farquaad's height, but we doubt it.
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
Number 9. Evil Desires, Hocus Pocus.
Bubble, bubble. I'm in trouble.
There are a number of jokes meant for adults in this classic Halloween film, like references to Max's virginity and Emily talking about Allison's yabos.
Max likes her yabos. In fact, he loves them.
But there's no moment more inappropriate than when the witches announce their desire for children.
Hey, that may take me a couple of tries, but I don't think that'd be a problem.
To be clear, they want to kill them to steal their youth. But this horny bus driver just sees it as an invitation to test his virility. He makes it clear that he's more than willing to oblige the strange trio.
The life of a bus driver can be a lonely one, so who knows, maybe he was just hoping for some quality conversation.
I need one of those instant ice packs. You girls are giving me a fever. Yow.
Number 8. A House with Female Anatomy, Monster House.
Then that must be the uvula.
So who thought it was a good idea to let Rick and Morty creator Dan Harmon co-write the screenplay for a kids film? To be fair, this was years before he created Rick and Morty, or even Community for that matter. But still, the man isn't exactly the kind to play it safe. This is the sort of joke that's guaranteed to go over the head of pretty much every kid in the audience. But we suspect the parents who caught it choked on their popcorn or soda. Monster House is a solid, fun, and often intelligent film, but this reference to the female anatomy was a risky inclusion.
So it's a girl house. What? No!
Number 7. Performance issues. Space Jam.
When did you first start having this dream?
It wasn't a dream.
Apparently in the world of Space Jam, talent is like energy. It can't just be created out of nothing. And so in order to win this epic high-stakes basketball game, the monsters steal the talent of professional b-ballers Charles Barkley, Sean Bradley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, and Muggsy Bogues. Suddenly, without the skills that made them stars, the players undergo a battery of physical and mental exams in this funny montage.
Are there any other areas besides basketball where you find yourself unable to perform?
The filmmakers managed to slide an adult joke into the mix when one doctor asks a player if he's had other performance issues. Not cool, Doc.
No.
Number 6. Mr. Potato Head doesn't like to share. Toy Story 3.
I have over 30 accessories and I deserve more respect!
Ah, that's better.
Pixar has never shied away from slipping adult jokes into their films, and for the most part, they play well. This line, however, is so crude that we really hope it was accidental. In the third Toy Story film, the villainous Lotso removes the mouth of an understandably angry Mrs. Potato Head.
Jumping to his wife's defense, Mr. Potato Head loudly declares that nobody takes his wife's mouth.
Nothing wrong with that, right? But then he follows it up with the words, "except me."
Hey, no one takes my wife's mouth, except me.
Literally, he might just be saying that he steals his wife's mouth to get some peace and quiet, but it also evokes another pretty horrifying mental image.
Give it back, you furry air freshener.
Come on, guys, we're going home.
Number 5. Sucked to Death. The Brave Little Toaster.
Somebody untie the knot in this guy's cord.
This 1987 animated film had some pretty heavy moments that likely left a lasting impression on you as a young child. The scene in the spare parts shop is horrific, and the song Worthless comes paired with some similarly upsetting imagery. The clown was pure nightmare fuel.
But nothing quite compares to the fate of the air conditioner.
While his explosive final moments are likely what stuck with you, he also says something rather provocative to the vacuum cleaner before making his exit. When Kirby confronts the aggressive appliance, the AC asks if Kirby is going to suck him to death. That's an uncomfortable choice of words.
What are you gonna do, suck me to death?
Number 4. The chef with a tiny little something. Ratatouille.
Don't do it. I have a secret.
Another Pixar film, another joke that soars over the heads of younger viewers, while raising the eyebrows of their parents. When the bumbling and culinary challenged Linguini tries to come clean with Colette, he struggles to explain his situation with Remy the cooking rat. By his own admission, he's not good with words, but boy does he ever misspeak here.
I have this tiny, little...
He admits he has a disturbing secret, a tiny little... Before he can say chef, Colette has already glanced down straight at his crotch. Ouch.
A tiny chef who tells me what to do.
At least as embarrassing as the moment is, it's not as gross as what Chef Skinner seems to be suggesting with this line about intimacy and vegetables.
One can get too familiar with vegetables, you know!
Number 3. Diaper Humor. The Rugrats movie.
Man, they cut my cord!
In a list of all the places we didn't expect to come across a circumcision joke, the 1998 Rugrats movie would be pretty high up there. But there it is nonetheless. In this musical number, a newborn baby is disappointed and outraged that he's had his umbilical cord cut. But another newborn in the room looks down in his own diaper and tells the baby to consider himself fortunate. There's nothing subtle about this reference, and we can't help but wonder what kids made of it when they watched the scene.
Consider yourself lucky.
Number 2. Nice Headlights. Cars.
I'm Mia! I'm Tia! We're like your biggest fans! Ka-chow!
I love being me.
Alright, we can see how this was a tempting joke to make, even though it's totally inappropriate. After a big race, rookie Lightning McQueen is bathing in the attention of the fans and cameras when two gushing young girl cars burst through the crowd and introduce themselves as Mia and Tia. They are his biggest fans, so what do? Pop their headlights and flash him. Get it? The arrogant McQueen is in heaven, but we're guessing this one might have elicited more groans from the parents than laughs. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Buzz experiences involuntary wingspring, Toy Story 2.
Well, I just wanted to say you're a bright young woman with a beautiful yarn full of hair.
There are a lot of ways to show that characters in kids' movies are attracted to one another. After all, romance and attraction are perfectly natural. But this scene from the second Toy Story movie is more than a little brazen. When Buzz meets Jessie the cowgirl, it's clear that he's into her, especially from the way he freezes when she puts her hand on his chest. But when he sees her in action, it proves too much and he gets sprung, as shown by his wings popping out. It's a strangely common trope in kids' movies, also seen in The Little Rascals, and arguably dating all the way back to 1942's Bambi. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.